If you're a big fan of bowls, especially the meat kind, you'll definitely like today's recipe. We're bringing you a certified Balkan hood classic, meatball soup. Yes, you heard that right. We're making teeny tiny bite-sized meatballs and putting them straight into soup, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. Welcome to My Grandma Can Cook Meatball Soup. First on the agenda, boiling water. Now, usually this is a pretty straightforward step, but as it happens, my grandma's stove is on her balcony. Her very poorly insulated balcony, and it's winter, so obviously it's freezing out there. So instead of risking frostbite, we're boiling the water inside with a multi-cooker. The recipe has barely started and we're already innovating. Grandma is modern now. She pours about a liter of water in, hits a button, and just lets the machine do its thing. In the meantime, she's going to get all the actual ingredients ready to go. First up is the mince. She's going to season it with a heavy hit of black pepper and a generous amount of savory. Very traditional. If you feel adventurous, you could use paprika, maybe a tiny bit of cumin, maybe some garlic. Go wild. Customize your meat. Grandma, however, does not go wild. Grandma trusts the classics. So today we're keeping it simple. Next, she mixes everything together by hand. And if you're thinking you'd rather not touch raw meat, too bad, cause the next step is shaping the meatballs, and like it or not, you have to use your hands. With the help of a little bit of water to keep the meat from sticking to her fingers, Grandma shapes the meatballs. They need to be small. We're talking bite-sized, pop-in-your-mouth small. She meticulously rolls them and sets them aside on a plate, building a little army of meat. And as it turns out, I guess we weren't the only ones getting excited about this dish. She keeps rolling them, and just as she's about to finish, I take my eyes off the table for 2 seconds, and what do you know? We have a visitor. Our furry intruder is quickly escorted off the premises, and we move on to the next step, the veggies. It's time to peel and roughly chop a small carrot, and half a tomato, and to round it all out, 1 onion. These 3 ingredients are basically the foundation of every Bulgarian soup or stew ever made. Add garlic and sometimes a potato and you've covered about 80% of my grandma's recipes. If she's cooking, it is almost guaranteed these will be involved. Once they're cut into chunks, we shove them all into a blender and we blend. Give it a good violent shake, and then blend again for good measure. When she's confident that everything is nice and smooth, we check on the water. Well, it looks warm. I certainly wouldn't go so far as to say it's boiling, but hey, it's something. All the meatballs go in the pot with some assistance. As you can see, they really want to stick to the plate. If you don't want to have this issue in your own kitchen, I'd highly recommend putting them on a floured surface when you're prepping. The flour stops them from sticking to the plate, and as a bonus, that little bit of excess flour will actually help thicken your soup later on. It should make life just that little bit easier. When all of them have successfully made contact with the water, it's time to add the vegetable seasoning. As with other recipes I've shown you, I'm gonna quickly add that a stock cube or even a tablespoon of salt will do just about the same job. Use whatever you have in your pantry. Next up, Grandma adds in all the pureed veg. This is immediately followed by 2 generous handfuls of vermicelli pasta. In case you don't want to go out and buy a specific type of pasta just for this one recipe, feel free to just break some regular spaghetti into little pieces. The whole concoction gets a good mix, the lid gets closed and we let it cook for 9 minutes so the pasta softens and the meatballs cook through. Now, because we are using a multi-cooker today, I've realized some of you might be panicking about how to replicate this with a regular pot. But don't worry, because we managed to get a professional to give us her opinion on the phone.
Ало, обаждаме ти се за технически въпрос.
Кажи.
Ако тази супа се прави в нормална тенджера, а не в мултикукър, за колко време се вари?
Ами към 20 минути.
Всичко се слага наведнъж и се вари 20 минути.
Ами да.
While the soup cooks, we've gotta keep busy, so we get to making the egg and yogurt liaison.
Huh?
And look, in case you have absolutely no clue what the hell I'm talking about, don't worry, I didn't know what a liaison was either about 5 minutes ago. A liaison is just a fancy French word for a mixture that makes soups creamy. In the Balkans we call it zastroika, and it's the secret to getting that rich, cloudy, slightly tangy broth. We make it by whisking 1 egg, adding 3 heaping tablespoons of yogurt to it and whisking it all together again. Alright, and because grandma totally forgot to do it earlier, we're also adding half a teaspoon of citric acid to give it that necessary sour punch. You can use a bit of fresh lemon juice instead, same idea. Meatball soup is heavy and rich, so we just want a little tang to balance out the flavors. Now let's talk about her tool of choice here. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea why she insists on using this electric mixer. As you can clearly see, all it's doing is making a mess. So please, learn from us, do yourself a favor and just use a normal fork. The 9 minutes are up, now pay attention, because this next part requires a bit of finesse. Once the soup has slightly cooled off, we're gonna take a little of the warm broth and slowly add it into our yogurt liaison, stirring gently. This technique is called tempering. You're slowly raising the temperature of the egg and yogurt. Make sure not to dump a bunch of boiling hot soup directly into the cold egg mixture, or you're going to instantly end up with scrambled eggs floating around in your meatball soup, and nobody wants that. Once the yogurt mixture is brought up to temperature, it slowly gets poured back into the main pot, stirring constantly in the process. Look at that color change, it transforms from a clear broth into a velvety, creamy masterpiece. Beautiful. And just like that, we're done. It is genuinely that easy to make something that looks and tastes this delicious. But hey, don't just take my word for it, I am but a humble narrator. Let's see what the actual maker of the soup has to say. So there you have it. If you're craving something warm, simple and deeply comforting this winter, this is your sign to make it. If you want to see my grandma cook more of her signature recipes and maybe see our cat attempt another heist, leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in a bit.